I make the bitches hit the floor for keys. Yeah.
Travis got it here, and I'm back with some more boxing. Luis Ortiz is fresh off of a knockout win over Bryant Jennings in a very exciting heavyweight fight. I mean, those guys was going at it. Although Luis Ortiz was getting the best of the action, Bryant Jennings was hanging in there, and he even outlanded Luis Ortiz and had a far higher connect percentage, but it was clear who was dominating that fight. Luis Ortiz hit hard, and he was hurting Bryant Jennings bad. I don't know if any heavyweight can handle power like that, but Luis Ortiz looked very impressive out there, and he's ready to fight anybody. He's ready to fight all of the guys at heavyweight. Any guy that they put in front of him, he's ready to fight. He's undefeated, and he's still coming up. And he released a statement. He said, "I will fight whoever next. Whoever Golden Boy Promotions give me, I'll take. Wilder, Fury, Klitschko, any one of them. I'm ready to prove that I'm the heavyweight world champion." Luis Ortiz statement. Now, I mean, I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that I believe Luis Ortiz can defeat all of those guys. I think that Luis Ortiz could knock out Tyson Fury. I think that Deontay Wilder might go the distance, but I still think that he would lose to Luis Ortiz. And I think that Wladimir Klitschko, old ass, would get knocked the fuck out. I mean, that would be the easier of the three fights between Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, and Wladimir Klitschko. I think that Luis Ortiz would really have his way with Wladimir Klitschko. With that being said, how is he going to be able to get these guys in a ring? I mean, he's still making a name for himself. And I checked the rankings through all of the organizations, and it's not looking good for Luis Ortiz. I mean, if you're going to force these guys to get in the ring with you. I mean, he's the WBA interim champion at heavyweight, right? But that only means that he's the regular champions mandatory, the WBA regular champions mandatory, who is Ruslan Chagayev. And don't nobody even really give a fuck about who got the WBA regular belt. Most of y'all probably didn't even know who had the WBA regular belt until I just told you, because I had to look it up. I keep forgetting the guy's name. Really, all that matters, especially at all of these weights, really, is just the four major sanctioning bodies, and that's the WBA Super, the IBF, WBO, and WBC. Those are the ones that matter. And of course, Luis Ortiz is ranked number 1 through the WBA, but that just means you get a shot at the regular champion. But he's not ranked through the WBC, the WBO, and the IBF. He's not ranked nowhere at all. So, I mean, Golden Boy is going to have to toss some money around if they're going to get Luis Ortiz in the ring with any of those heavyweights, because I don't think that they're going to be willing to just give him a fight. Like, why risk it? Luis Ortiz is kind of like a high-risk, low-reward situation. I mean, he's making a name for himself. He's been on HBO a few times, but he's not that big of a name. I mean, there's bigger fights for those guys to make anyways. So why fight Luis Ortiz when they could fight each other? You know, like, why would Deontay Wilder chase a fight with Luis Ortiz when he could be trying to make a fight with Tyson Fury? He could be trying to make a fight with the IBF champion, whoever get that belt. You know, I mean, there's no reason for him to make that fight. Or even he could fight Anthony Joshua, who's going to be his mandatory real soon. I mean, after Alexander Povetkin get his shot, then Anthony Joshua is next up. That's if Deontay Wilder defeat Alexander Povetkin. But, you know, even in Tyson Fury's case, the same applies. He could be chasing bigger fights. He could be making fights with bigger names. So, Luis Ortiz, I mean, he's a great fighter. I favor him to defeat these guys. I know some of you guys might disagree, but some people do agree that Luis Ortiz is a problem for these heavyweights. But the thing is, man, you got to get them in the ring. And, shit, if you can't force them to get in the ring with you due to me in a mandatory, I mean, you got to work your way up in the rankings. It's going to take forever. I mean, he might need to just fight like every 2 or 3 months. Even if it's not a big fight, just stay in the ring, stay active. Work your way up those rankings, man, because, I mean, it's crazy that he's not ranked at all through none of those organizations. I didn't check his record before this video, but I believe he's like 20-something and 0. I mean, he got a pretty decent record, but he's not ranked. And those guys can make bigger fights than the fight with Luis Ortiz. So he definitely got some work to do. Golden Boy Promotions really have some work to do. They need to throw some money around because, you know, money talks, bullshit walks, and they will bump him up in those rankings long as they paying off the right people, because that's what it's all about, man. That's how Errol Spence was able to jump up in those IBF rankings. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit. A couple fights ago, he wasn't top 10 in the IBF. Now, he's about to fight in the eliminator for the IBF belt. Shit, so, hey, they got to throw some money around and fight the right people to help Luis Ortiz get ranked through these organizations so he can get these guys in the ring, because otherwise, he ain't going to be able to fight these guys. I mean, shit, he can go in, fight Ruslan Chagaev. I don't know how far away that fight is, but, I mean, it will help him get the WBA regular belt at heavyweight. But like I said, I mean, it will help build his name up and build his stock up too. So maybe that might be the route to go for Golden Boy and Luis Ortiz. But at the same time, he needs to start working his way up in the rankings through these other organizations to get these guys in the ring. Otherwise, he's going to have to make a name for himself to make it financially worth fighting him. Because otherwise, I can't see them guys getting in the ring with him. Like, why do that and take a chance on losing when you don't really have much to gain by that situation? So that's what he's going to have to do to get these guys in the ring and fight him. I'm Travis Gotti. Thank you for tuning in to Travis Gotti Boxing. Subscribe.
I gotta quit fucking with you. I gotta quit fucking with you.
Mean that he's the regular champions mandatory, the WBA regular champions mandatory, who is Ruslan Chagaev. And don't nobody even really give a fuck about who got the WBA regular belt. Most of y'all probably didn't even know who had the WBA regular belt until I just told you, because I had to look it up. I keep forgetting the guy's name. Really, all that matters, especially at all of these weights, really, is just the 4 major sanctioning bodies, and that's the WBA Super, the IBF, WBO, and WBC. Those are the ones that matter. And, of course, Luis Ortiz is ranked number 1 through the WBA, but that just means you get a shot at the regular champion. But he's not ranked through the WBC, the WBO, and the IBF. He's not ranked nowhere at all. So, I mean, Golden Boy is going to have to toss some money around if they're going to get Luis Ortiz in the ring with any of those heavyweights, because I don't think that they're going to be willing to just give him a fight. Like, why risk it? Luis Ortiz statement. Now, I mean, I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that I believe Luis Ortiz can defeat all of those guys. I think that Luis Ortiz could knock out Tyson Fury. I think that Deontay Wilder might go the distance, but I still think that he would lose to Luis Ortiz. And I think that Wladimir Klitschko, old ass, would get knocked the fuck out. I mean, that would be the easier of the 3 fights between Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, and Wladimir Klitschko. I think that Luis Ortiz would really have his way with Wladimir Klitschko. With that being said, how is he going to be able to get these guys in the ring? I mean, he's still making a name for himself. And I checked the rankings through all of the organizations, and it's not looking good for Luis Ortiz. I mean, if you're going to force these guys to get in the ring with you. I mean, he's the WBA interim champion at heavyweight, right? But that only means
You scared? What? You scared? What? You scared? What? Kicking in the door, I make the bitches hit the floor for keys. Yeah.
Travis Gotti here, and I'm back with some more boxing. Luis Ortiz is fresh off of the knockout win over Bryant Jennings in a very exciting heavyweight fight. I mean, those guys was going at it. Although Luis Ortiz was getting the best of the action, Bryant Jennings was hanging in there, and he even outlanded Luis Ortiz and had a far higher connect percentage, but it was clear who was dominating that fight. Luis Ortiz hit hard, and he was hurting Bryant Jennings bad. I don't know if any heavyweight can handle power like that. But Luis Ortiz looked very impressive out there, and he's ready to fight anybody. He's ready to fight all of the guys at heavyweight. Any guy that they put in front of him, he's ready to fight. He's undefeated, and he's still coming up. And he released a statement. He said, "I will fight whoever next. Whoever Golden Boy Promotions give me, I'll take. Wilder, Fury, Klitschko, any one of them. I'm ready to prove that I'm the heavyweight world champion." That Luis Ortiz is a problem for these heavyweights. But the thing is, man, you got to get them in the ring. And shit, if you can't force them to get in the ring with you due to me in a mandatory, I mean, you got to work your way up in the ring because it's going to take forever. I mean, he might need to just fight like every 2 or 3 months. Even if it's not a big fight, just stay in the ring, stay active. Work your way up those rankings, man, because, I mean, it's crazy that he's not ranked at all through none of those organizations. I didn't check his record before this video, but I believe he's like 20-something and 0. I mean, he got a pretty decent record, but he's not ranked. And those guys can make bigger fights than the fight with Luis Ortiz. So he definitely got some work to do. Golden Boy Promotions really have some work to do. They need to throw some money around because, you know, money talks, bullshit walks. And they will bump him up in those rankings long as they paying off the right people. Because that's what it's all about, man. That's how Errol Spence was able to jump up in those IBF. Luis Ortiz is kind of like a high-risk, low-reward situation. I mean, he's making a name for himself. He's been on HBO a few times, but he's not that big of a name. I mean, there's bigger fights for those guys to make anyways. So why fight Luis Ortiz when they could fight each other? You know, like why would Deontay Wilder chase a fight with Luis Ortiz when he could be trying to make a fight with Tyson Fury? He could be trying to make a fight with the IBF champion, whoever get that belt. You know, I mean, there's no reason for him to make that fight. Or even he could fight Anthony Joshua, who's going to be his mandatory real soon. I mean, after Alexander Povetkin get his shot, then Anthony Joshua is next up. That's if Deontay Wilder defeat Alexander Povetkin. But, you know, even in Tyson Fury's case, the same applies. He could be chasing bigger fights. He could be making fights with bigger names. So, Luis Ortiz, I mean, he's a great fighter. I favor him to defeat these guys. I know some of you guys might disagree, but some people do agree.